Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm a third generation row crop farmer in northwestern Kentucky. I started farming in September with my dad, and I finished my very first harvest season, and he finished his 40th. So I've got a lot to learn and a lot of catching up to do. Just a little bit about me for those of you who are new here and don't know me. I am 25 years old and I got married in August of 2023. So my husband and I will celebrate our 3-year anniversary in August of this year. We have a dog who we are both just so obsessed with. Her name is Remy and she's an English setter. I'm sure she'll probably make some appearances in these videos because she loves going down to the grain bins and visiting with all of the truck drivers whenever they're dumping corn and just walking around. I'm also a pretty avid gardener, so I have a backyard greenhouse where I start all of my plants from seed and watch them grow all summer and then get to harvest all of the vegetables that I grow. So my happy place is definitely whenever my hands are in the dirt. I am an Auburn University graduate, so War Eagle to any Auburn fans who might be watching this. I graduated with a degree in agriculture communications, and I am still a huge fan of Auburn to this day. But lastly, and most importantly, is that I am a Christian. I try my best to live my faith out every day, and honestly, as a farmer, I just feel so honored to get to work outside every day and just be in his creation and tend to the land that he put on this earth for us to be stewards of. I learned so many things this harvest, whether that be about the job of harvest or just about myself this harvest. I look back and reflect on the things that I learned this year. Like I ran the combine, I managed our grain system, I learned how to dry our corn, and I just look back and just can't hardly believe all the things that I did and just had a willingness to learn. And so I was able to do so much. I just want to use this page as a way to document my journey of being a brand new farmer. And I hope that I can come back in a year or 2 years or 3 years and come back to this page and just see all of the things that I learned how to do, how I grew in my job, in my faith as a person, and just be able to document that. And, even if it's just my mom, my dad, and my sister who watch these videos, I still just am so excited to have all of this documented from my first harvest up until however long that I plan to do this. I think 2026 is definitely going to be a year of growth for me in a lot of ways. I want to push myself outside of my comfort zone. I want to tell my story. I want to help others see that they can chase their goal without knowing everything. And so I'm just really excited to take you all along on this journey with me as I figure out farming and figure out my role here on the farm. So, on the topic of harvest, there are a lot of things that I've reflected on, and two things really stand out to me for what I've learned and the two things that I really took away. The first one is that plans don't ever seem to go the way that we think that they will. And that's okay. I think that that's what sets farming apart. I think that's why farmers love what they do, is because every single day is a challenge and something new, something to learn. It's never just the same routine every single day. I can think of one specific example. It was our very last day of harvest, and we all thought that we were going to get home at a good hour. We had like 80 acres of corn left to harvest. So we sent our first couple of trucks off to the elevator from that last field, and then we got an alert on our phones that said the grain elevator would be shut down until further notice for that day. So we had to problem solve. That is not how we thought that our day would go. Our grain storage on the farm was already full, but we had two primary tanks that we could just hold corn in. Usually those are used to feed our dryer and they don't have fans or anything in them. But for this purpose, it actually worked out really well because we were able to problem solve, bring all of those trucks in to dump the corn into those two holding tanks. And then by the time those got full, the grain elevator was back up and running. So it ended up working out, but it was one of those moments where you thought that you had a plan and then it completely got shifted and we thought that we weren't going to be able to finish that day, but luckily we were. And the second thing that I really reflected on this year was that farmers make so many sacrifices. And don't get me wrong, I have grown up around farming my whole life. Farmers sacrifice so much to be able to, one, feed the world, and two, earn a living and just do what they love. There's so many things that farmers do behind the scenes that cause exhaustion, and it's mentally draining, and you just have to keep going because the weather is good and right now, and then there's rain in the forecast, so it's just this nonstop gotta go mentality to be able to be profitable. And farmers really sacrifice so much for our whole country and their families and just everyone to be able to do what they love. And as a woman, those sacrifices looked a little bit different for me. I wanted to still be a good wife and, still have dinner on the table and still make sure the laundry is done and make sure that things at home are taken care of. And most of the time I wouldn't get in until 9 or 9:30 at night because I was drying our corn. So a lot of Sundays looked like a lot of prep for me. It was a lot of freezer meals, a lot of grace from Billy Zane, and just a lot of sacrifices. And sometimes I felt like I would be failing at home or needed to have more time. But all of those things are just sacrifices that farmers have to consider and make every single day. It's such an honor for me to get to carry on the legacy that my great grandfather created years and years ago. And he kind of paved the way for me as the next generation to come in and be able to farm. My great grandfather and my great grandmother passed when I was 5 or 6 years old. I still have very fond memories with them. Um, but I so badly wish that I could bring them to present day and just show them that I am farming now and that their legacy is being carried forward. I think so many people in my generation don't come back to the farm, or they just are scared to take that leap. And honestly, the goal of this page is to just be that bright spot and show that the next generation is coming back in some ways. And it's okay to take a leap of faith, even though you don't have it all figured out and you don't have all of the answers. It's just so important to continue that legacy, and the thought of that legacy ending with my generation just gave me knots in my stomach, and I didn't want to see that happen. So I took the leap of faith, and here we are today, and I am farming. And still crazy for me to say out loud sometimes, but just taking the leap is sometimes the hardest part. Part of chasing your goals and dreams is just learning along the way. Every single day I show up to the shop, and I typically have to ask questions. I have to learn how to do things, but that's part of farming, and part of any goal that anybody wants to achieve is just learning along the way. And even after I've been farming for so many years, I hope that I still have that spark of curiosity where I want to learn and I never stop learning and stop growing. Next harvest will look different, and hopefully, I will be a lot more knowledgeable and will be able to apply the knowledge that I learned this year to our next harvest season. So follow along as I'm a brand new farmer figuring out farming, and I'm so happy to have you here.